Nobody did this to FIFA from the outside. That's the thing that's easy to miss when you're watching the chaos of this tournament's build-up from a distance. When you see the Attorney General's subpoenas, and the hotel occupancy, shortfalls in the canceled fan festivals, and the worker strike threats, and the legal complaint over a flag, it's tempting to frame all of it as things happening to FIFA. External pressures, unfortunate circumstances, the inevitable noise that surrounds any tournament of this scale. But look more carefully, and a different story emerges. The dynamic pricing model that is now the subject of a formal law enforcement investigation in the host state, FIFA, chose that. Nobody imposed it. FIFA introduced variable pricing to a World Cup for the first time in history in 2026 and designed a system where prices for over 90 of the 104 matches rose by an average of 34% between October 2025 and April 2026. Fans who bought early paid the most. Fans who got different seats than they purchased have no recourse. FIFA built that system. FIFA runs it. FIFA takes 30% of every resale transaction from people trying to cut their losses. The mandatory hydration breaks in every match, 3 minutes, twice per game. In the 22nd minute of each half, FIFA chose that. Queen's University Belfast warned them about the heat risk 18 months ago. The break itself has a safety rationale. But when FIFA's chief tournament officer first announced the change, he did so at a meeting with broadcasters. And the announcement specifically noted that the break periods would be available for commercials at the discretion of tournament broadcasters. FIFA changed the rules of football in a meeting with television executives and noted the advertising opportunity at the same time. The decision to expand to 48 teams and 104 matches, generating 8 games to win the tournament for any side that makes the final. FIFA chose that. FIFPro and the European leagues called it inherently abusive in a formal complaint to the European Commission. La Liga said FIFA showed complete disregard for the football community. Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner, warned before tearing his anterior cruciate ligament that players were close to striking over the workload. FIFA expanded the tournament over the documented objections of the players' unions and the leagues, and the injury list heading into this tournament is the longest of any World Cup in living memory. Today is May 30th, 2026. Final squad rosters are due to FIFA tomorrow, June 1st, and the injury tracker for this World Cup reads, like a roll call of the sport's most important. Players. Neymar. The 34-year-old Santos forward returned to the Brazilian squad after years away. He was supposed to provide the emotional narrative of redemption, the comeback, the World Cup on home soil in North America, the final act of a complicated but brilliant career. This morning, Brazil's team doctor confirmed he has a grade 2 calf injury, not swelling, a grade 2. He is expected to be cleared in 2 to 3 weeks. Brazil's opening match against Morocco is on June 13th. The arithmetic is tight enough that his participation in the early rounds is genuinely uncertain. Fermin Lopez, one of Spain's most dynamic midfielders, part of the European Championship squad that lit up Euro 2024. On May 17th, he fractured a metatarsal in his right foot during Barcelona's win against Real Betis. He will miss the tournament entirely. Spain, the bookmaker's favorite, has lost a key squad member 13 days before their opening game, Matthijs de Ligt. The Dutch defender has had additional surgery on a long-standing back injury. He will not return until the start of the 2026-27 club season. He has not played since November 30th. For the Netherlands, who are already missing Xavi Simons to an ACL injury from earlier this year, losing de Ligt is another significant blow to their defensive structure. And then there is Messi, Lionel Messi, at 38 years old, in what will be his final World Cup. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni has waited until the final possible moment, submitting his 26-man squad to FIFA tomorrow, June 1st, the absolute deadline, to make his selections. That delay has fueled intense speculation about whether Messi is fully fit, whether there are concerns about other senior players, and whether Scaloni is managing a fitness situation he is not yet ready to confirm publicly. These are not random misfortunes. They are the consequence of a fixture calendar so saturated with league games, Champions League games, Nations League games, An expanded Club World Cup that ran last summer in the United States, international friendlies, qualifiers. That players arrived at this World Cup carrying physical loads that sports scientists have been documenting and warning about for years. The French Players' Union brought a landmark case under the European Social Charter in March. It was declared admissible. The case argues that FIFA's calendar violates players' fundamental labor rights. It is being heard. Meanwhile, the players whose welfare it concerns are playing injured, managing injuries, or waiting until the last minute to confirm fitness for the biggest tournament of their lives. FIFA built the calendar. FIFA expanded the Club World Cup. FIFA added the matches. And now FIFA is managing a tournament where some of its most important players are limping to the start line. But the most uncomfortable inside failure, the one that received the least international attention, relative to its significance, happened in January 2026. Multiple Iranian footballers and athletes were killed during protests in Iran following the conflict that erupted in late February. Former Tractor Sazi FC midfielder Mojtaba Tarshiz was among those who died. Former Iran national team captain Masoud Shojai publicly criticized FIFA for its silence over the killing of Iranian athletes. Ali Karimi, one of the most celebrated players in Iranian football history, wrote an open letter to FIFA and to all member associations, asking Infantino to speak publicly about what was happening to athletes in Iran. FIFA did not respond publicly. FIFA's stated principle is that sport should be outside politics. Its president has repeated that phrase dozens of times in the build-up to this tournament. But here is the question that Karimi's letter asked and that FIFA has never answered. When Russian clubs and the Russian national team were excluded from European competition in 2022, a decision FIFA participated in, the justification included the safety of players, officials, and fans. When Iranian athletes were being killed during civil unrest in a country whose national team was already scheduled to play all three of its group stage matches in the United States, FIFA said it was monitoring the situation, the same organization, a different country, a different response. That inconsistency is not a political argument. It is a governance argument. It is the argument that FIFA applies its principles selectively, loudly when there is institutional consensus, quietly when there is institutional discomfort. And it is being made now in writing by some of the most respected voices Iranian football has ever produced. None of this means the tournament is lost. The football will happen. 12 days from today, Mexico will walk out at the Azteca against South Africa in the opening match of a tournament that will produce memories lasting decades. The matches will be played. The goals will be scored. Some of them will be extraordinary. But Newsweek published a piece this week with a headline that captures the gap between expectation and reality with a precision that no press release from FIFA has matched. It described the 2026 World Cup as being at risk of becoming a colossal dud. Not because of the football, because of everything surrounding it. Because slow ticket sales and underbooked hotels and canceled fan zones and legal investigations and worker disputes and a pricing model under law enforcement. Scrutiny have created an atmosphere around this tournament that the football alone cannot fully redeem. FIFA's projection was $30.5 billion flowing into the U.S. economy. The World Economic Forum says hotel rates are down by a third from Atlanta to San Francisco. The Natixis Investment Bank says the economic impact will be muted. The American Hotel and Lodging Association has warned that expectations for full occupancy may need to be reassessed. Those are not external attacks on FIFA. They are measurements. Numbers produced by institutions that have no agenda beyond accuracy. And they are measuring the gap between what FIFA promised this tournament would deliver and what it is actually delivering. That gap was created inside FIFA's decisions. The pricing model it chose. The calendar it expanded. The commercial breaks it embedded into the rules of football. The silence it maintained on the deaths of Iranian athletes. The hotel blocks it canceled without explanation. The fan zones it left cities to fund out of public budgets it wasn't contributing to, from the inside. The best version of what happens next is the one football usually delivers. The opening ceremony happens. The first goals go in. The stories begin. Argentina in their first match. France in theirs. England still waiting. Brazil with Neymar watching from the treatment room, willing his calf to heal in time. and the tournament becomes something larger than its build-up, the way it has always become something larger than its build-up, the way it found its soul in 1994 when nobody believed it could, the way it produced Zidane's headbutt in 2006 and Messi's tears in 2014 and the greatest World Cup final of all time in 2022. That can happen again. It might happen again.